So newsflash, you have the same amount of time in your day as everyone else on earth. The question is, how do you maximize that time? It doesn't matter if you're the president of the United States, if you're some world leader, or you're a CEO, or you're just a regular person who works from home every day. You have the same amount of hours. There's 24 hours in the day. Obviously, you gotta account for sleep. Some people sleep more, some people sleep less. So how do you get more out of the time that you have? Okay, so let's start with this. A lot of people ask me, what do you do? I tell people in the coaching program, step one is always give yourself more hours. Most people are sleeping in, they're not waking up earlier. A lot of people know, yeah, you wake up at 4:30, you have more time. I like waking up earlier in the morning because it gives you some time to do work when you're not getting bothered. You're not getting buried with emails, I'm not getting the phone calls, none of that. So I can get some stuff done before all that starts. So step one in maximizing your time to reach your ultimate ambitions is waking up earlier. For a lot of people, even waking up 1 hour earlier helps. Now, of course, the big thing with waking up earlier is you probably have to go to sleep earlier. I've reviewed this tons of times about how you get to bed earlier. What you want when you go to bed earlier, it of course is better sleep. It doesn't matter if you are in bed for 8, 9, 10 hours. If 5 minutes before you go to bed, you're looking at your screen, you're absorbing that blue light, maybe you drank alcohol, whatever it might be, all the things that I outline in my 10-3-2-1 page of the program, that is what's killing you. So step one, the true part before you wake up earlier, is how you go to sleep, right? So if you go through the 10-3-2-1 and you get to bed at a normal time, or you get to bed at a time that gives you enough hours of sleep, then you wake up earlier. Right? So you wake up earlier and then you have more hours to be productive, to work on your ultimate ambitions, whether it's your work, if you're a musician, you want to write, whatever it might be. I don't care what it is. You give yourself more working hours during the day. And those are better working hours than late night hours for most people. I know there's some people who they excel by working late at night. However, you got to give yourself the recovery. So I prefer get to bed at a reasonable time, follow the 10-3-2-1 principle, and then you wake up a little bit earlier. Like I said, even waking up an hour earlier can completely change the trajectory of your productivity. Next is what you are doing during those working hours. A lot of people I talk to say, oh, I set aside only 2 hours or an hour and a half or whatever at night to watch TV or whatever, but they're not taking into account all the hours, yes, hours during the day that they are on social media, scrolling, wasting time. So I tell people, build in time throughout the day where you give yourself those breaks. And then outside of those windows, you completely disregard any of that stuff because it's easy to get sucked into it. So if you want to take a break, a mental break, you can go on social media, scroll mindlessly, put a 10-minute timer, put a 15-minute timer, a 20-minute timer. The 20 minutes is a lot, but you guys all know how fast 20 minutes can go by when you're on social media. So give yourself a time, and then outside of those timer windows, you work. I tell people all the time, you have to be, whatever it is you're doing, I don't care what your business is, especially in this day and age, if you're serious about your ultimate ambitions, you should be creating more content than you're consuming. The creating to consuming ratio should be 95-5. And most people are not, if you truly and sincerely want to excel, you have to be creating more content than you're consuming. Most people aren't. Why? Because you get sucked into content that other people are creating. So you're helping them achieve their dreams and reach their ultimate ambitions while yours are dying on the vine. So make it a point. If you're going to be on social media, you're going to do anything that's going to be sucking your time, set a timer, say, I'm going to only dedicate this much. We have the screen apps that show you how much time you're spending on these apps and all that stuff. So you could do that as well. But I just like to set a timer. Set a timer and be done with it. So you're maximizing your time by waking up a little bit earlier, an hour, 2 hours, great, even better. And then those hours, don't waste them. I know some people who wake up early and the first thing they do is they grab their phone and they're scrolling on social media. Now, if you have a business or something like that, you want to check on what was going on overnight, you want to check the numbers, things like that. I do that sometimes too. You all know that the first thing I do when I wake up is try to get to my meditation, then do the fitness, check the bank account, see how everything is. Social media should be at the tail end of that morning process. But you have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined. So when you wake up in those early hours, if you're gonna take the time and you're gonna do the work to get to bed at a reasonable time, get that good quality sleep, and then wake up early, don't blow that time scrolling on social media or wasting your time. Utilize that time to reach your ultimate ambitions, put in the work that you need to do, and then maybe take a little bit of break after that window. Now you're maximizing your time. Throughout the day, schedule your little breaks, but in those working windows, make sure, whether you want to turn off notifications, you want to give yourself a block. Sometimes I just leave my phone outside of the room altogether, so I'm only on my desktop. I don't have any social media apps on my desktop, and I just leave it outside. And then I'll go back an hour, 2 hours later, and I'll check. I'll make sure of course, I have certain notifications so I can hear if my mother calls me or something like that. Of course, they're on breakthrough, so my phone will ring no matter what, even if it's on Do Not Disturb. Some of you have elderly parents, I get that, and I tell people that's how I do it. So even if the phone's outside the room and my mom calls and maybe it's an emergency or something like that, I will hear it, I'll be able to attend to it. Same goes for my business partner. That's a phone call that I always want to take because obviously we are running a multi-million-dollar company, so I want to make sure that any concerns he has, I'm always there. Those are the things that I do to maximize my time and maximize my productivity. If you are serious about your ultimate ambitions, like I said, I don't care what they are, whether they're financial, fitness, relationship, I don't care what they are. You have to maximize the hours during your day. It's not like you look at someone like Jeff Bezos and you say, oh, well, he's getting more done, he's a billionaire, or this person has more, No, they have the same amount of hours in the day as you. They're just better at being very, very, very particular with what they spend their time on and how they spend their time. It's the same amount of hours, they're just utilizing it differently. Some waking up earlier and some maximizing the hours during the day. A lot of the most high-level people I know, they count their days by the minutes. Their meetings are down to the minute, some people even crazier by the second. And that is why they are the top 1%. So if you're serious about your ultimate ambitions, start with managing your time. Once you become a master at managing your time, you will see everything else in your world skyrocket and change. Thanks for watching. Make sure you check out some of the other videos. If you like this video, you found it helpful, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And if you're not subscribed already to the channel or the podcast, Ultimate Ambitions Podcast, make sure you hit that subscribe button, get the notifications going, all that stuff. And of course, lastly, share this video with anyone you think that could benefit from this content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.